Hey everybody, Mobile Gamers Unite here, trying to navigate my way through this brutal collab. I've talked to quite a few people. I've been talking to people that have been wanting to quit the game just because they're so furious about this banner and the rates, and we're going to talk about that a little bit today in this video. First thing first though, I did tell you guys in the last video that especially with this collab, you have to be patient, alright, and it will pay off. So let me tell you a personal story of mine that just happened last night. I was sitting around watching Netflix and I decided to kind of go through my profile here and, you know, see how short I was on the exchange medals to pity one of the characters. And actually, I completely forgot that our daily summon actually yields some of those medals. So I thought I was about 10 of those medals short, but come to find out I was right at 300, and I was like, oh snap, this is awesome. Finally I get to get one of these characters, and I actually get to play with one of these characters, level them up in the bonus event that we got going on, because they do get a ton of experience. They get a lot of AP for grinding this event. So I was like, cool, finally, I had to wait a week. Your boy had to be patient, but it paid off. And my finger was literally hovering over the good doctor. I'm just going to go ahead and call him Rick Sanchez because that's kind of what he is to me. And I was thinking about it. I was like, man, the scientist is the character that I need, but Kuhaku is the character I want. She is just so damn fun to play. She is so deadly. She comes with dual wield out of the box. And it's a good thing I really stopped and I thought about it, because the advice that I gave out in my last video was be patient with this collab. And I thought about that and I was like, you know what? I should probably take a page out of my book. So I checked our little event calendar, and lo and behold, we get 5 summon tickets today. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to do the smart thing. I'm going to wait. I'm going to do, my pulls tomorrow. And lo and behold, today, when I did my 5 pulls, on the 4th pull, Mr. Rick Sanchez did come down. So I do have the scientist. So if I would have pitied him yesterday, I would have wasted a character. Effectively, I could have got a dupe of this guy. So that was really awesome, because I pulled him off of the tickets that we got today. So then I actually used the pity system to get Kohaku. So I get to have my cake and eat it too, and I almost screwed myself out of that. If I would have just pitied one of these characters, there's a pretty good chance that I could have pulled a dupe and just really been upset, But hey, that's what happens when you don't want to be patient. I almost fell victim to it myself, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I held out. So for anybody that didn't have the best of luck today with those 5 single pull tickets, next week you do get a 10 pull that can yield one of these characters. So I guess the moral of the story is, if you have close to or enough of the hero medals to pity one of these characters, and you don't have either one of them, your best bet is to wait till like the last day of this collab and then use your pity to get the character that you want, because you could pick up one of the characters along the way, and you could use those pity medals to get the other character. That's what I did. I'm very happy about it. Very happy that I held out. And then, of course, I got their equipment, and I had some hero credentials left over. So what I did is I spent all those hero credentials to get shards for Kuhaku. The reason I did that is because I feel like Mr. Rick Sanchez is more ability based. He doesn't need stats as much as Kohaku does. This girl does come with a ton of shards. Yeah, I already have her. I have her awaken, right? 2 steps up. And let's see, how many skills does she have? I have her at 47 SC already. That's just out of the damn box, plus the extra 120 shards that I got. Let's see, do I even, yeah, and I still have 10 shards left over. Woo. So this girl, incredibly strong, incredibly fun to play. She just tears it up. Nothing but good reviews from everybody that has this character. I absolutely love this girl, and she looks great too. She's got some legs, so this is my little waifu right now. I absolutely love this character. She is just a blast to play, and obviously our little scientist buddy over here, this guy is the must-have character. I fully believe that the power creep isn't going to affect this guy as much because he just has so much utility. Characters like Kohaku, they have to compete with Roland, who, you know, can overcome damage cap in his kit. And pretty much in any of these gacha games, the DPS characters are the first ones to get power crept. So that's why this guy was a safe bet. And I just don't have many other characters like him. I mean, this guy's very unique with what he does. But, you know, as far as Kohaku goes, this is going to be pretty hard to power creep. I'm thinking she's going to be, you know, on top or near the top for a long time to come. I mean, you get dual wield out of the box. On top of that, her kit is just crazy. Watch out for this girl in Arena. Between her and Davin, I'm really working on powering up my Earth resistance. So, I mean, this girl and Davin on a team together, what's so good about her is she's so fast and she can cut the distance between her and her enemy. And especially if you're fighting a Davin, she can get over to him and start dishing out combos and damage to him before he can actually activate any of his skills to do all the damage that he does. This girl's very good at interrupting people. She doesn't necessarily throw people around in the air, but it just doesn't matter. Absolutely love her kit, her abilities. I don't even have her S3 unlocked yet. Her S1 cuts distance, very good. S2 is great, right? Her S3, I love it because it's one of these things where if you're surrounded by enemies, it's just going to do a ton because it's going to hit everybody. It's an awesome AoE. But if you drop it at the wrong time and there's nobody around, well, it's wasted. It's kind of like Dark Robin's S3, where he can use that thing anytime, but if nobody's around, it's just wasted. So I haven't even got a chance to use lightning speed. I actually kind of wish that this would increase her speed even more, but then she would just be so damn OP it's not even funny. I have been playing with every Kohaku on my friends list. She's a joy to run. I've seen her with such a high movement speed. It's ridiculous. It's almost like that little mini boss that we have to fight. I forget what his name is, but he moves super quick and he just kind of hits and runs. I feel like you could actually do that with Kohaku. On top of that, this girl has like damn near tank defense. It's just crazy. So I really can't wait to see the different builds that I can do with this girl. I'm even going to try to put away her dual wield and like see what she can do. Maybe with a shield or something. I don't know. There's just so much possibility with this girl. I can't wait to really crack into her and see what's really good. But absolutely love her sprite. She's just a joy to play. And like I said, Mr. Rick Sanchez here is the one you need, but Kohaku is the one you want. So, like, this is a really appealing banner. Really appealing collab. Very unique characters. The science magic that this guy does, it does do a lot of damage. It is awesome. But he casts very slow, which, I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, if this guy could cast just as fast as the other mages, it just wouldn't even be fair. The way I see it is this guy's pretty much, he's going to be using doping and buffing everybody and kind of breaking the enemy down. And then towards the end, if you have nothing to do with him, then you can tell him to start casting a spell. They do take a while to cast. Obviously, there's ways to augment that, so I still have to build this guy up and see what I can do with him. But his base casting time for for his damage spells is pretty horrendous, but that's okay. That's to be expected because this guy really has a lot of utility. He just brings a ton with him. At the end of the day, though, Kohaku is just more rewarding for me to play. That's just my opinion, IMO. Alright? And if I hadn't gotten lucky and pulled him, I still would have had to pity this guy instead of Kohaku. Just because this guy adds more to my account. He adds more to what I can do with the characters that I already have. So that's just kind of how I feel about that. So, all in all, awesome day. Victory. Feels pretty damn good. Alright. I've had people ask me about this event to kind of go through it real quick. Here's the thing. I know everybody wants to know the magic number of things that you want to grind out. The truth is, I have no idea. So pretty much what I've been doing, okay, is that the green ingredients are just base ingredients. We're using the greens to make these gold ingredients, and then we can use these golds to make these red ingredients. Well, they're not ingredients anymore. This is the finished product, like the sulfur drug. So pretty much what I've been doing is, say you need fish, eggs, chicken, whatever. Most of that stuff can be grinded out in the Madrid forest. So and then we have, like, you want to make gunpowder and stuff. All the stuff for that is in the Marlborough Cave. If you need water, salt water, or seaweed, obviously you're going to go to the Rubble Coast. And I've just been going from level to level, just kind of getting what I need. And then, I make stuff, okay? The important thing here is to make stuff. Make as much stuff as you can, because we are going to get rewards for this. In fact, here's some rewards right here. There's all these, and then there's these, right? And this is all, these are all things that we get for creating things. So anytime you combine something, it's going to pay off down the road. There's some tickets here, right? Here's a 10-pull ticket. Bam! This can net you one of the characters right here. And then just a bunch of gems and stuff that you need to power these characters up. So just make stuff. These levels are good to run for experience anyways. Throw a farmer in there, throw in Zex, throw in Dark Robin, because you can farm some of the lower tier gems that you need to build the characters up. I have to do that myself. But all in all, it's not like we're pressed for some other event. You should have plenty of energy, stamina to run these levels all you want. They're a quick and easy clear. I don't think you're going to be wasting any of your time or resources running these levels. And if you have some extra stuff left over, just make stuff out of it. That's pretty much the best advice that I can give. Let's see, like we get to cola here, and wow, I have a lot of cola. Let's look at something else. We make some more of this fluid. Bam. So that's my advice for this little event, this whole chemistry thing that we got going on. I think it's cool that they did something like this, as opposed to just grinding one item out and then using that one item to get the items that you want from the trading space. So at least they're trying something new, right? A lot of times these things are hit and miss. Obviously, if this goes well, maybe we'll get more stuff like this in the future. I think this does add a little bit to the game. I haven't really played many other gachas that have tried something like this, so this is cool. This is a step in the right direction. They're trying to be creative. They're trying to do something cool and different for us. It did take me a second to kind of figure this out. Like, what the hell is going on here? Obviously, to make any of these yellows, you have to have the core green components, and then to make the reds, it takes a lot of the yellows, and sometimes some of the green too. So you can never have too much, and these are all good levels to run. They're easy to clear. I've actually learned quite a few abilities on some of my characters. My Zex, he's learned a lot of skills just running through these. You know, it's good experience. They're easy grinds. So I think at this point, this event is just pretty self-explanatory. Alright, if anybody has any questions about it, just leave me a comment. You do have to, when you first start this event, this is what I'm going to say. Maybe you're late on it, but when you first start this event, all the levels will not open up until after you make the sulfa drug and like the ramen and stuff. That's where I messed up. When I first started running this event, I went right to the back because, of course, I wanted to grind out the tickets, right? So I'm trying to find nitro fluid, nitric acid, alcohol, and tungsten, and I couldn't get half of this stuff to drop. And that's because these levels, they weren't opened up. I could only do 2 of the levels. Oops. Yeah, the third and last levels were not opening up for me. And that's because I believe they won't open up until you actually make some sulfa drug and some ramen or gunpowder. So just make those, grind out what you need to make those, and then the rest of these levels should open up. And then you can start making soap and cola and nitro fluid, which is some good stuff according to Dr. Stone. So yeah, like I said, if you guys have any questions about this event, grinding stuff out, leave a comment. My channel will take care of you, right? There's always going to be somebody there that's be like, oh, I got you, you got to do this, you got to get that. So any questions, leave a comment. That's what my channel's for. We discuss these things. Speaking of discussions, I've had some pretty juicy discussions because of this collab. Some players have been very upset, right? And this is something that you run into with gacha games. People have bad luck, and it doesn't feel good, right? And people are like, damn, I'm just going to quit playing the game. That does happen, okay? But I have to say that it's happened more with this collab than ever, okay? I've been getting people left and right talking about how terrible their luck was on this collab because it's only a 0.5%. Guys, it's not up yet. Even I had to wait like a full week to get my characters. Hang in there, right? There's still some 10 pulls that you're going to be able to grind out and get. There's still tickets, so you still have a way. But really, what I wanted to talk about is somebody left me a comment, and you know, a couple people DM me too, and I've been talking to people in Discord that, you know, they're pretty upset with Adis right now. And one of the things that I've heard was, hey, I dropped $130 and I didn't get shit for it. I could go over to Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and with $130 I could get a character. Here's the thing, and here's where I'm coming from. I don't think this banner rate was all Adis, right? Adis has to split money with the studio that owns the rights to Dr. Stone, and I think that's why it's a 0.5%. They need people to pull on it because, you know, there's got to be something in it for this studio. Anytime Adis has given us their characters, a lot of times they're a 1.5%. So, you know, Adis isn't exactly stingy with the characters, but with the collab it's a little bit different. Now I know what you're going to say. Hey, Secret of Mana, they gave us one of the characters, you know. Here's what I'm going to say about that. I think Secret of Mana had some sort of exclusive deal with Last Cloudia, you know, to help them promote the game. Secret of Mana has done many collabs, right? For the Dr. Stone studio, this is probably the first collab that they've done, and they're projecting numbers, and they don't know what to expect. The Secret of Mana studio has already done this like 6 or 7 times. They know about the cash flow. They know what they're going to get. It's not so much of a gamble for them. They've been through it like 7 times already. To the point where Secret of Mana could even give away one of their characters just to get more people to come to the game. Now I think the deal that they made is, yeah, we'll do your first collab with you, but Randy has to be on top for at least 6 months. I'm sure that was the case. That is why Randy is so strong. because then they reran that collab. We just had Secret of Mana not too long ago, and yes, people were pulling for Randy because it's a safe bet. The game's been running for 6 months. Randy's been on top the whole time. So new players that join the game, they see how strong Randy is. As soon as that collab comes back, they're all going to pull for Randy because they know it's a safe bet, and they see how strong other people's Randys are. It makes sense to me. Secret of Mana knew they were going to make their money. If not the first time, then the second time around for sure, and I'm sure they made plenty of money, and they were very happy with it. It also kind of explains why our meta is finally getting over that little Randy mark, in my opinion at least. Before Secret of Mana Part 2, it was like no matter what character came out, they were not going to compete with Randy, at least in my opinion. And it was a good business move. Right, I mean, we did get Zuggless and stuff like that, but Zuggless isn't really the same type of character that Randy is. Randy can out-damage Zuggless. Zuggless is just awesome, though. I love him. He's so hard to kill. Just great sprite. Regardless, so that brings us to Dr. Stone. I don't think their studio has done collabs before. So they are trying to, of course, make a safe bet, and the lower the chances and the more people have to pull for it, the more money that studio is going to get. And I'm sure they were an influence on everything, because when a gacha game like this does a collab with a studio that owns the rights to an anime or whatever, they have input on everything, you know. So I understand Dr. Stone, they wanted to get their money out of it. This banner is up for 20 days, so it's down to 0.5%, which, yes, that's brutal, okay? I don't necessarily think that that's all Ada's doing that. I like to think that the Dr. Stone studio kind of pushed them towards that. Of course, I don't know exactly what went down, but back to the whole comment about being able to get a character on Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Here's what I'm going to say about that. Brave Exvius could afford to just give away characters, okay? They've been around for like, what, 7-8 years now? The way that these gachas work is when somebody wants to make a gacha game, well, first of all, you need to get a studio together, and you need programmers, and it costs a ton of money, okay? Trust me, take it from somebody with a business degree and somebody that actually has worked with programmers. I worked for KUKA Robotics. I used to build the cells, which are the machines that actually make the cars. So the programmers, they made more money than anybody. These guys would come into the shop, they would sit on their ass, and they would make like $45 an hour, while electricians and pipe fitters are making 25 bucks an hour to break their back and sweat all day. And, you know, it's just something that you learn to accept. So I can only imagine how much money it would cost to actually get enough programmers together to make a game like this. I can only imagine how much time has to go into it, especially a good game like this. Then you need voice actors. All of that stuff adds up to a ton of money. These games have a huge startup cost. And pretty much how from my understanding of it, is somebody bankrolls all of this. And they're probably promised that they're going to get their money back, and some, within a year. So most of these gacha games have a huge startup cost, and then within the first year, hopefully the game pays for itself. Obviously it won't if it's not a good game. After a year, then it's all money in the bank. So pretty much with Last Cloudia, the way I see it is these guys are still trying to break even. They're still trying to probably pay back a lot of the money that went into the development of this game. Final Fantasy Brave Exvius doesn't have to do that, okay? And don't think for a second that Gummy has, you know, made their pity system better because they have a kind heart. They do not. I consider them Shinra Incorporated, okay? Here's the thing. I love Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, but I hate it too. I hate how Gummy has crapped all over their players. But at the same time, if Brave Exvius wasn't there, to show all these people how much money can be made with gachas and with these types of games, we probably wouldn't have some of the awesome gachas that we have. So it's kind of like a love-hate thing, and that's just honestly where I stand with it. But I just want everybody to know, Brave Exvius could just give characters away. They've made their money. They've paid for their startup cost. The only reason they're bolstering their pity rate is to put pressure on games like this, because they want people to get upset when they don't get a good roll, and they want people to say, well, I could just go over to Brave Exvius, and if I dropped $130 there, they'll give me a character. Okay, well, you know, you still need like 4 characters over there to get a Super Trust Master. Regardless, I think it's harder for a game like this, when it's in its infancy stage, to give out as many freebies as a game like Brave Exvius that's been out for 7 years. It's already paid for. They're just getting money in the bank. Alright, so I think we kind of have to look at it that way. Adis is still trying to keep the lights on, and they're still trying to probably pay off whoever bankrolled this whole project for them. That's what I like to think. And then there's also the Dr. Stone studio that has to get their cut of it. And hey, this is like their first collab. So I really do hope they make some good money. I'm sure they have, because that would encourage them to keep doing collabs and to come back and all of that good stuff. These are awesome, juicy characters. We are going to want them to come back. I really hope everybody gets at least one of these characters. I really want everybody to have at least one of these characters, just because they're so awesome. So I want to fully support this thing, even though I myself have had a pretty rocky start with this collab, okay? I mean, I had to roll with the punches myself. The reason I'm talking about this is because it's been a lot. There's been a lot of people that have been questioning, that have been really upset, and I talk to these people, and I try to be reasonable. I try to see where they're coming from. I'm sitting in the same seat, right? Like, I just threw 200 summons and I got nothing out of it as well. Don't throw your phone up against the wall. Don't rage quit, okay? The first thing I said about this collab is we have time, right? There's still like, what, 15 days? Okay, a lot can happen between now and then. You could just pull one of these characters out of thin air. You could pull them with a daily. It has happened. I just pulled one of them today with the 5 tickets that they gave us today, and hopefully you did too. If you didn't, you're going to get a 10 pull next week, and we're also going to get another 10 pull and plus some other tickets from those rewards. So just keep making stuff in the event, keep grinding, and I think everybody will be all set. Okay, obviously we can't always have the best of luck, right? It's nice when it pays off, but when it doesn't, hey, this is a gotcha. You got to roll with the punches, okay? If I would have given up last week and rage quit, I wouldn't have both of the characters now. So that's all I'm going to say. But I hope everybody out there is enjoying this collab. And if you guys have any comments or anything to add, that's what the comments are for, and they're always open for you guys. So I appreciate all the support. And all of our new members to our channel, right? My subs rock. You guys are awesome. Okay, I love talking to every single one of you, and thank you for all the support. I'll talk at you guys later. Peace.